The 30th of October 1994 at Phillip Island in Australia was where you won your first Superbike World Championship. How do you look back on that day now, 30 years on?
Got goosebumps then. Just emotional. It was just relief and emotion just spilling out from the year that I'd had. The start of the year, breaking my wrist at the second round, had a few issues, mechanical issues mid-season, and it all coming down to the last race of the year on the other side of the world. And you know, having just missed out on the championship in '93, I should have won it. For it all to come down to this and to cross that line and to realise you kind of you dreamed of something you worked for years. It was just the emotion. I just floods of tears and just the relief was the biggest thing I can remember. It's a relief that I'd done it. I'd finally won it, you know. And then when I came in, I was looking for Michaela to share that moment with. You know, I was trying to push everybody else out of the way. Even Barry Sheen's trying to interview me. I was like, I'm out, Barry. I want to sort of embrace her wife, and just both in floods of tears really with emotion. Yeah, it was very emotional for sure.
Well, as you say, you know, for both of you, and then it's really nice the way you described that, because it was, you know, you saw it as a team. It was a partnership. The first person you wanted to find was your wife. Was there a sense, having won it the first time, was there a sense, and I don't mean any complacency here, but was there a sense that you had achieved all that you had set out to achieve? And did that take the pressure off slightly, or did it make you even more determined to go on and win it again?
It took the pressure off, but it made me more determined to hang on to it, really. Like someone said, there's only one way you can go from here now, that's to lose it. I thought, I don't like the sound of that. But yeah, I was more relaxed as a rider, I guess, in '95, and I won the championship a lot easier. It won it with 2 rounds to go, I think. Dominated the whole year. The bike was stronger than it was in its very first year of competing, and and I was fitter and fresher, and I was just in a different class in '95, to be honest.
And so, as you say, I suppose mentally you're in a different place because you'd already proven to yourself and to the world that you could, you know, achieve the greatest prize. But also, going back to what you're saying before about '94, you didn't have this. I mean, that's what makes the first win in '94 even more special and significant, because there was some quite significant things that you had to overcome, in so much as Michaela was pregnant with your daughter. You broke your wrist, you had mechanical issues, you changed your management, you were in the middle of a house move and a renovation. I mean, there was a lot going on there.
Yeah, when you put it like that, I take myself back to that time, and there was a lot going on, really. Yeah, it was a new team, a new bike, because the dawn of what I think is the most iconic motorcycle ever built, the 916. That was its first year. We didn't test much with it at all, really. It was getting ready. The first race was quite late that year. It was in May. It was at Donington. I won the first race somehow. I wasn't that happy on the bike. I wasn't comfortable on the bike. I felt like I could go faster on the old 888. Could carry more corner speed on that. It was a very nervous, twitchy kind of bike. It suited kind of maybe a Falapa kind of style or James Witham kind of style riding. And it wasn't until later on that year we would change the bike and lengthen the swing arm and the offset the front to make it a little bit better for me, my style, carrying corner speed in the mid corner. And then, like I said, I broke my wrist at the second round. I had to race the third round with a cast on and struggled. I broke down because I couldn't use the clutch properly. I did the gearbox in.
Yeah.
Then I finished 5th in the second race. I come back after all that and with a double win in Albacete and another double win in Austria. And I was away, and the other guys had crashed and broke down or whatever. And I pulled all the points back. And then I was leading the race out in Indonesia by 6 or 7 seconds, and the engine dropped a valve, so I lost that race. And was like, oh, for God's sake, what more is going to go wrong this year? You know. Then obviously Claudia was born in the August. I made it home for that, and then it kind of went down to, like I say, come down to Donington. I thought I had a decent lead going to Donington, and the heavens opened at Donington. I went for the wrong wet tyre, went for a hard wet tyre, which I don't know why I did that. And it looked like it was going to dry up, I think, and struggled like mad to finish 14th, I think it was. And Scott had won both races, and the points came down to like 5 then. So it just it just built up and built up with highs and lows throughout the year, and like I say, moving house in between, and broken wrists, and having a new baby and stuff, and all the emotions were building and building to that very last race to the other side of the world, and it's such a relief to finally bring it home. It was just amazing, really amazing feeling.
Let's talk about Scott, actually, now that you've sort of brought him up. Is it fair to say that he was your closest rival at the time? And with that in mind, how did you see him at the time? Could you be friends, for example?
No, not really, not friends at all, no. We had this kind of verbal, kind of banter sort of thing through the press and that. I just saw him as a sort of a loudmouth American, and it was my main rival, basically. I wanted to beat him, and would say all sorts in the press to sort of try and get in his head or whatever, and he'd say the same. He was a bit like me in some ways. He wasn't afraid to say what was on his mind and stuff. But it was pretty tense, really, between us both, I guess. Just me being me, I guess. I had to have an enemy, or somebody I had to hate to make me sort of go out and win, really. It would appear, and he would be that person, because he was the nearest one to me to stop me from winning the World Championship. Yeah, I don't know why I was like that. It was obviously I had to be that way. I had to say those things I said about my nearest rivals in whatever year it was. Whether it was Edwards in one year, or Aaron Slight, or Russell in that year. But I mean, look back now and just wish I'd kept my mouth shut and just got on with the racing the bike, and not put myself under that much pressure, more pressure, saying I'm going to win this weekend, I'm going to beat them. Because I would then have to go out and do it, which more times than not I would do. But I'm thinking now, why don't I just keep my mouth shut and just get on with riding the bike, and let my sort of actions do the talking, really. But I kind of wish I'd maybe never said the stuff that I'd said, but I don't regret it, really, because it was obviously how I had to be the best. Yeah, that was it, really. I was just an angry person. I just wanted to have a kind of diss at everybody, I guess, really, not just my main rivals, but pretty much the whole grid. I don't know. I didn't have many friends back then, to be honest. And I'm not surprised, I guess, the way I was. But I think they've kind of forgave me a little bit now, possibly.
In terms of around here in Blackburn and being your home, do you get treated like a local celebrity, or are people reassuringly not that bothered?
A bit of both, really. A bit of both, yeah. I'm obviously the celebrity, I guess. But then there's other people that just, it's Foggy. He's just part of the furniture around here now. We're not that bothered about him, really. So it's a bit of both.
And that, I suppose, that's actually quite comforting, and it's comfortable for you as well to be able to just be you.
Yeah, I can be me. Every day of my life, wherever I go, I get recognised. I get stopped, whether we're in Manchester or whatever. It's just.
But in a nice way.
Yeah, in a nice way. Yeah, people want to say hello, want to shake your hand, want to have a selfie. But that's through probably doing a TV show more than anything, to be honest. So, but yeah, I don't mind it. It's nice. It's nice to be. I think people said, I get sick of it. And I said, look, the day no one recognises me, the day nobody comes up for a selfie, then that's when I'll be sick of it, because I think, oh my God, it's all gone now. But
absolutely,
no, it's still very much, everybody kind of wants to say hello and stuff. Yeah.
When we look back to 94, 95, specifically in this area, obviously you had Jack Walker's Blackburn Rovers winning the Premier League title for the first time, and a lot of focus on this part of the world and the people from round here. Did you feel like you were getting the credit that you deserved as a local lad at the top of his game, or was there a sense that you weren't fully recognised for what you perhaps thought you should be?
No, I didn't think I was getting the credit that I kind of deserved a little bit. Because remember, I supported Man United, to be honest, back then. I did, and made that quite clear. I was getting more coverage from the Manchester Evening News than I was in my local papers. And even the Sun newspaper would follow me to every race in '95, and I didn't feel like the local paper were doing a lot, really, to be honest. And then Neil obviously went there, and he kind of changed that. Went on to become my manager. But no, I was a bit angry and disappointed, I think, at the time, and just would lash out a bit at Blackburn Rovers. To be honest, I should have been celebrating them and enjoying them winning and stuff. But I was saying I was a United fan, and I kind of was. So. But I do support my local team now. I have done since sort of early 2000s, I guess, really. But I think I always have in a way. It was just that I didn't want to admit it because I was that angry person that I was back then, that didn't feel like I was getting the publicity that I should have got with winning the World Championships and whatnot. But
it's almost like a sort of teenage rebellion, isn't it? You know,
a little
sort
bit
of
like
people expect you to do one thing, which means, well, I'm going to do exactly the opposite.
I was a bit of a late developer anyway, so I was like living my teens when I was like late 20s, mate. So
now then, Carl, I know what you're thinking. In addition to this being the 30th anniversary of the first Superbike World Championship title win for you in '94, there's also another significant anniversary staring us in the face, because it's 10 years since you were crowned King of the Jungle, having won I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here in 2014. That's gone fast, by the way, that 10 years.
That's ridiculous.
Did that 3-week stint on ITV make you more famous in the street than anything you'd done in your entire race career?
Yeah, I mean, I was famous before that. That's why I got asked to do the show, because I've become a household name through racing motorbikes in the 90s. But yeah, going on the biggest TV show in the UK and winning it, so I don't know how, being an ordinary idiot from Blackburn, that was just unbelievable, to be honest. It was 3 weeks of, I'm going to say hell, but it was just a roller coaster ride of emotions. It really was. But to do all the challenges and live on rice and beans and keep the fire going and keep boiling the water, and it was just meeting people, and I became a real team player. I learned a lot about myself, because I wasn't sure about going in there at all. Actually, they really had to persuade me to go in. I don't know why. I think they wanted the guy that was racing, that was angry and determined and focused, and won't like other people and kick off and stuff. But I was never like that, really, away from the racing. I was kind of an ordinary guy from Blackburn, as I always said, really, So to do that, and I went in there thinking I don't particularly like other people. I don't like the celebrity kind of people, really. I don't like being bored, and I hate being hungry. So there were the 3 things that I kind of challenged myself to see if I could cope with in there. And I really did cope really well with them all. I coped with the food situation and the boredom. I was always doing stuff all the time anyway, keeping the fire going and boiling the water and stuff. And then I became like a bit of a team player, making sure everybody else was all right, especially the girls in there. I was making sure they were okay and stuff. And so I learned a lot about myself in there. And a nicer guy than what I thought it was, to be honest. And Michaela said I'd never recognise you there.
Who is this guy?
Who is this guy? Yeah, but it was an incredible experience. It really was.
It would have been easier just to say no, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah. And I did say no. They came asking 15 years before that, just after I retired from racing, 2002, 2003. They asked me, and obviously I said no. I didn't think I was in the right frame of mind to do it. Then when they came back in 2014, they actually come back in 2013. And asked me to do it, and I said, look, I can't do it. I'll maybe do it next year. My mum's not so well. And I need to sort of look after her a little bit. Anyway, I did. I said, it took a lot for me to say yeah. It really did. I really did. It would have been easier to say no, but I thought, you know what, I'd just do with some bit of a challenge. I wanted to test myself, see if I can cope with the food situation, the boredom, and other people. And I did it. And God, King of the Jungle. It's the coolest title I've ever had.
But you know what, joking aside, you could see actually at the time how much it meant to you. This wasn't, I suppose to a lot of people who maybe haven't seen the show so much, is that they might regard it as being quite trivial, but actually when you look back at it as part of your life and your journey, it's a not insignificant challenge that you did, and actually, as you say, it was a big part of who you are as Carl Fogarty today, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it did mean a lot to me to have that much public support. People picking up the phone. I think I won every night's voting by one, apparently, when the stats come out after. And when they announced the winner, I just dropped to my knees. I'd just gone. I was just so emotional, and it was just like I won the World Championship again. Yeah. All those years before, it felt that good. It really did. I think I said at the time, it's kind of the best thing that's ever happened to me, this, but I was like, actually thinking about it, it's not the best thing, but it felt like that at the time. I remember saying that, but obviously the best thing was racing bikes and becoming world champion. That's the best thing that happened to me. But I was caught up with all the emotions of it all. It was just an incredible feeling to get that much public support. It was amazing. Still goes down as another title, doesn't it? It's another trophy, and King of the Jungle. Yeah. They all count. Carl, before we let you go, let's return to Michaela's description of you being, in her words, a pain in the arse to live with and deal with in your heyday.
What words of advice would you give to 30-year-old Carl Fogarty if you could go back in time? Or the alternative is, would you not change a thing?
I'd probably ask him to be a bit more calmer and appreciate what he was doing more and appreciate the people around him a little bit more. Yeah, and just be a little bit calmer. Yeah.
Carl, congratulations on a fantastic career and this huge anniversary, and thank you so much for allowing us to come here and spend some time with you in your beautiful home. Much appreciated.
My pleasure. Thank you. Cheers.